Hello and welcome to cookbookslive.com. I'm Stephen Freeze, your host. One of my favorite things to do when I'm traveling to New York City is to go to bakeries. And one of the special places that I like to go to is Amy's Bread. And if you're a fan of the famed Manhattan Bakery, which I am of course, you will love this book, The Sweeter Side of Amy's Bread. It's her second book. She's written one on bread, but over the years, people have come to enjoy the many sweet confections that Amy prepares. It's a beautiful cookbook that will show you how to recreate about 70 plus of the bakery's favorite sweet treats. And bake Amy's signature scones. You can bake her muffins, her cookie bars, her biscotti, her layer cakes, and other treats in the comfort of your own home. Many people like to try to recreate what they buy in a bakery, and this recipe book will enable you to do that. With the recipes for tasty breakfast fare like cherry cream scones, pecan sticky buns, to delectable sweets like double chocolate chip cookies, and Amy's famous pink cake that we're going to take a look at in a little while. This book has illustrated color photos to help you along the way. What I also liked about this book are the various interspersed among the various recipes are some stories from customers and some of the long-term employees of the bakery. And it makes it a very interesting read. You actually will not need to buy a lot of new equipment to make the recipes in this book. There is one tool that Amy stresses in the book that will help you improve your baking, and that is a small digital scale that weighs the ingredients in both grams and in ounces. And I do suggest you purchase one of those, and they're fairly inexpensive. You can purchase them in most kitchen stores. The tips and the techniques that she presents throughout the book will also help to make you a better baker. Let's look at some of the recipes in the book. And when it comes to muffins, the French blueberry muffins are the bakery's best sellers. So on page 45, we're going to find a recipe for the blueberry muffins, as well as a picture of them. They look really, really delicious, don't they? And a very simple recipe. And again, it's broken down in columns that give you the amounts to use in grams, or in ounces, or in volume. And this calls for unbleached all-purpose flour, sugar, baking powder, kosher salt, unsalted butter, eggs, whole milk, lemon zest, and blueberries, fresh or frozen. And at the beginning, the little synopsis prior to the recipe, it says, as far as muffins go, the French blueberry muffins are our best sellers, as I've mentioned. They are tender and delicious, with plenty of tart blueberries throughout each muffin, and a hint of lemon to heighten the flavor. Why do we call them French when blueberry muffins are the most all-American item on our menu? The answer is we use wild blueberries from France during 9 months of the year when the local berries aren't available. It's those little stories, I think, that add to the personality of the cookbook. The story about the famous pink cake is one that I'd like to read to you as well, and that is found on page 170. So let's take a look at page 170, and the story is really quite cute. It's a very dainty looking cake, and I believe we have a picture of it as well. So let's take a look at the picture first. Beautiful pastel pink. And it's the story here that I really enjoyed reading. While we were in the final development stages on this cake, Molly, our daytime pastry chef, was testing different colors in the frosting to see which one the customers found most appealing. It was a warm summer day in June, and she was carrying her latest test cake with pale pink frosting from the kitchen in the back of our Hell's Kitchen location out into the retail cafe to be displayed and served in slices. At the same time, a great bear of a man in construction workers' clothing had just walked through the open front door. When he saw the pink cake, his eyes widened, and he said in a voice that was filled with amazement and longing, "Oh my God, that looks just like the cake my mother used to make. I've got to get a piece of that." We made the frosting pale pink from that day forward, Men love the pink cake. For his birthday, Chef Bill Telepan, owner of Manhattan's acclaimed Telepan restaurant, asks his wife, Beverly, to order that cake from Amy's that has the pink frosting on it. Bill and Amy have birthdays that are one day apart. In a recent phone conversation right around their birthdays, Amy asked Bill if we could put his name in our new cookbook as a lover of our pink cake. His response, absolutely. I'm always telling people it's the best cake in New York City. We're happily making this recipe available to the public for all those men who can't make it to Amy's Bread to get a slice of our nostalgia-inducing pink cake. It's stories like these that add to the cookbook's personality. And this book provides many similar stories as I've just read. When in New York City, make sure that you pick up some quality breads and sumptuous Amy's sweets. The next best thing, however, if you can't make it there, is to pick up a copy of this book, The Sweeter Side of Amy's Bread, and make some for yourself. From Delia, the Viking Center of New England, I'm Stephen Fries for CookBooksLive.com. For now, bon appetit.